Hey guys, good morning, good morning. It's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete. Before we get started, can you guys hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell button for me and leave me a comment down below. I'm coming to you from my backyard garden. We've nicknamed Longevity Gardens. And I got a lot of stuff starting to grow and ripen right now in the backyard food forest. That's full of raised bed gardens, in-ground gardens, bushes, vines, native plants, flowering plants, and trees. In this video, I want to show you guys a few things that are ripening right now in the backyard, in the front yard, that are ready in October, almost ready for Halloween time in the Phoenix area. So let's go. The koi fish are in the pond enjoying their morning breakfast. And right next to the pond, we have this Barbados Cherry, AKA Acerola cherry tree, and it's loaded with cherries right now. I wouldn't say loaded, but it does have a lot of cherries on them in different stages of ripeness. So if we look down here, this one is not quite ready yet, still a little bit too pale. I'm gonna let it get more purple. If I go to this one looks a little bit better. If I go up here to this one, on the edge over here, this one is looking dark and the bird took a peck out of it. And that's pretty much how you know that it's ready, if the birds tell you it's ready. So since this one got some bird love, I'm gonna now gather it and eat it at the end of this video. So please stick with me to the end of the video and we'll eat this feast together. Don't skip, stay to the end. You guys won't believe what I eat next. One of the highlights for me in my garden this year was my Sapote. This white Sapote I planted 3 years ago. I planted him right up against the wall because my friend Seamus O'Leary and I have found a lot of gardeners having a lot of success growing fruit trees that are not native to this area here in the desert. We have a lot of success, and we see a lot of people having a lot of success growing next to the house, next to the wall. So I did the same thing. This tree didn't do much for the first year or two. It just kind of stayed alive and it enjoyed the wall because it gave it some shade and some wind protection, and it gave it a little bit of a, friendly microclimate and atmosphere. But now year 3, it's fruiting, and we have these beautiful sapotes that are just falling off the tree. These guys have been my favorite fruit of the season. I really hope this tree continues to produce these sapotes in future years because they are so delicious, and I probably pulled about 20 of them off the tree this year so far. We're gonna add these to our breakfast today. We've got this beautiful looking raised bed here full of edible flowers, some winter greens, kales, lettuces that we actually just put in, me and Derek from Life Inside a Box. We got some bird netting on top of it to protect it from my pests. Let's pick some of the lettuce leaves out of here. Of course, also getting a morning drink is Leo the Tortoise, my resident dinosaur, sticking his head in the hose like an ostrich, gulping away. He drinks like weeks worth of water all at once. So this is his weekly drink. I did a video in the past called my #1 fruit tree for home gardens, and since then the date palm has surpassed that fruit tree, but at that time it was the jujube, the Chinese date, which is also in the date family. So I guess both my favorites are dates technically, but this one is actually kind of more like an apple that produces these crunchy sweet apples that then when they dehydrate on the tree they turn red and shrivelly and they're chewy like a date. But this is the apple stage. Very tasty. We got a whole bunch of them up there, all on the tree, ready to go. Let me harvest a few of the sweetest, crunchiest ones, and we'll add them to our bounty for today. One of the things that every gardener in Arizona should be growing in spades is many different varieties of basil. We got one of the best climates in the country for growing basil. Basil loves it hot and sunny. So I got crazy amounts of basil. It always goes to seed, and when it flowers, brings in the beneficial pollinators like bees. It drops the seeds like this cluster of seeds here, and then what happens is when they drop into the soil, or I throw them in like that, it grows free plants for me during the next season. And I don't know if you guys can smell it out there in YouTube land, but the smell is intoxicating. This is Thai basil, and oh man, fantastic. In past years, I've grown some incredible Egyptian spinach. I got a little caught up in life this last spring, but we still had Egyptian spinach grow in the garden. I'm gonna pick some of the leaves up right here, and if you guys see these green pods, those will eventually turn brown in about a month, and we'll have free seeds to grow Egyptian spinach next season, next year as well. Molokia, Egyptian spinach. One fruit tree that every home gardener should be growing in many different parts of the United States, but especially if you live in the desert Southwest, is pomegranate or grenades, or in Espanol we call them granadas. And this one was told to me it was an angel red pomegranate years ago, one of the first fruit trees I planted. Now, it was from Gardener's World. Gardener's World went out of business. So I have no way to ask them if they really did sell me an angel red or not. Now, this is red on the outside, but on the inside, these pomegranates have always been sweet, have always been white or gold in color. So I have a feeling that Gardener World had it mislabeled, and actually this is a white or a gold pomegranate. We're gonna pick 2 of these right now this morning. If you guys watch till the end, I'll open them up for you. You can see what they look like on the inside. We're gonna add them to our breakfast from the garden. Standing under the canopy of one of my other most important fruit trees here in my garden. It's not actually a fruit tree, it's a moringa tree that's got edible leaves and edible flowers. So here's the leaves that are one of the most nutrient dense foods on the planet. And here's the flowers that are also very edible and nutrient dense. Let's pick a little bit of moringa so that we take our moringa multivitamin for today. I'm back here in the corner of the garden, and I'm really excited because I have a couple fig trees back here. Even though it's the tropical corner, I planted some fig trees on the perimeter of the garden for like windbreak and some insulation and to produce a microclimate for more tropical trees like the ice cream bean, the bananas, the lemon, and the papayas, and the guavas. We have the lemon tree behind me loaded with fruits this year, but they're not quite ready yet. They're still trying to get a little bit more of the cold temperatures before they put on their yellow color. But right next to the lemon tree is this stripy fig called a tiger panache fig that I planted years ago. And this is the first year it actually produced fruits. These little tiny stripy figs, they're so cute, is what I got this year off this fig tree. So it was a small tree when I planted them, couple-year investment. He's now producing fruit, and one of them is now ripe. I just walked by this morning and this one is ripe, and it came off. All right, they turn yellow when they're ripe. I can't wait to eat this in front of you guys. Stay tuned to the end. Lastly here for my breakfast, I got this pecan tree that I planted as a bare root stick. I would say about 4 or 5 years ago from Baker Nursery before they closed. If you guys remember Baker Nursery, hit the like button because they were amazing. And this pecan now has pecans. It fruited for the first time last year, so I've found that pecan is kind of a slow growing tree, but like most slow growing trees, they have incredible results if you just have some patience. So this tree now is probably pushing about 15 feet tall, really bushy, beautiful look to him. We got some grass growing down below that I love because Leo the tortoise gets food from that grass, and he loves that grass as his main staple of his diet. If I pan up, I'm gonna grab one of these pecans off here right now, and we'll go take it over to our breakfast, and we'll see if the pecan on the inside is ready to eat. Guys, check this out. The pomegranates, the lettuce, the kale, the edible flowers, the Barbados cherries, acerola, the moringa greens and flowers, the Chinese date jujubes, the tiger panache fig, Egyptian spinach, pecan, Thai basil, and our sapote. Let me eat all these in front of you guys so I can tell you what they taste like, and a little bit of a vegan athlete mukbang going on here next. You guys, check out how much we grew in the garden, even though we just came out of the summer temperatures, which are ferociously hot in Phoenix. We haven't had rain in 4 months. My wood chips keep moisture in the ground. And the wood chips I use also allow the plant's roots to stay cooler in the summer. And now, even though it's still in the high 90s, it was 97 degrees yesterday, even though it's almost Halloween time, we're still growing a lot of food in the garden. One thing I don't do, I don't usually wash off the food. A lot of you guys out there probably do wash off your food from your garden, but I did the first year or so when I was first producing food from the front in the backyard, but I just feel that there's minerals on the skin and I don't use any kind of spray or pesticides. So I feel that it's the cleanest it possibly can be. Unless there's a big pile of bird poop on it, I do wash that off. But if it's clean looking, I just go for it, man. And the first one I'm eating here is the Sapote. It's so buttery ripe, it's just breaking apart when I touch it. It's like pudding, it's like a custard fruit. Check this out. It's buttery like a pear. And the deeper you go toward the core of the fruit, the sweeter it is. I can't wait till this tree is full grown so that I can have hundreds of these every year. I didn't tell anybody I was growing this at first. I didn't think it would work. But now, especially if it has a western wall to help protect it, Sapote is doing great for me. I got the seed here I can plant, or I can just throw it back into the wood chips as mulch. I wish YouTube had taste division for you guys. Next, I've got some of my Thai basil. Whoa, like pesto. The Egyptian spinach, which is super high in nutrients, as nutritious as kale. We got the tiger panache fig, which I'm really excited about. We're gonna break this guy open. Oh my God, look at the coloring it has on the inside. Check it out. On the inside, it's like red. The coloring is so amazing. It's like 2 different colors rolled into one. Oh my God, that's amazing. I love it. Let's see how it tastes. Okay, here comes my first ripe tiger fig. It's always 50% better when you grow it yourself. I need 1,000 of those. We got the jujube, crunchy and sweet. The Moringa flowers, which I could make tea out of. And the Moringa leaves, which is like taking a multivitamin. Vegan protein, baby. We got so many Barbados cherries, and we only picked about 1/3 of what was up there. So I'm predicting right now there's probably about 60 cherries in the tree. And they'll produce more in December. And these acerola cherries have the most vitamin C of almost any fruit you could eat. Supai is sleeping away. I'm gonna, next to Supai, make a little burrito of my lettuce, kale, and edible flowers. And these edible flowers are gonna boost my immune system and keep me healthy all winter long. I never get flu shots, anything like that, because I just eat my flu shot in the form of my garden fresh edible flowers and leafy greens. All right, here's my leafy green and flower burrito. It's like the best spring roll of all time. Okay, let's go back to Supai's world over here and we'll open up the last item on our food tour this morning, our pomegranate. If you guys can see on the inside, I assure you that it's gonna be sweet and delicious, but they're not red, they're like a gold white coloring. So I'm convinced that this pomegranate tree is some sort of a gold white variety, because these are ripe and they taste amazing, but they are definitely a beautiful gold color. You guys, that does it for today's garden tour of what's edible in my yard. These are some of the highlights. There is more, but these are the highlights. That pomegranate is so good. Wow. Go vegan. Grow it at home. Go to all my links down below and join my seed company at seedbankbox.com. The new seed box is almost ready to go out. Get one before it goes out this month. I'll see you guys on my Facebook group for gardeners. The link's down below. And my social media, Jake Mace Tai Chi. Thanks for watching this video. Who knows what I'll be growing or pulling out of my garden next. See you next time. Bonus scene for you guys who Watch till the end. I've got some Peruvian apple cactus growing here that I didn't even realize was here before. Let's pry back these cactus arms so you guys can see this beautiful fruit that's formed on the cactus. Oh yeah. Look at that jewel of the cactus family. I can already see what's on the inside there. Let's go cut it open and try a bite of Peruvian apple. This is one of the best Peruvian apples I've ever eaten. I put it in the fridge and chilled it all night so it's nice and cold, and it does taste like an icy. The seeds are edible. Peruvian apple. This is amazing.